Hello, ladies. Welcome back to Sisterland Investors. Today, we're excited to have two incredible sisters joining us. Despite living on opposite sides of the globe, they both carved out their own paths in the world of land investing, each bringing a unique perspective and expertise to the table. Managing investment from across continents, we're excited to hear from Anne and Mary. Thank you,
Welcome,
ladies.
welcome. So excited to have you guys on the podcast today.
Nice
Hello,
to
thanks
meet you
for having us.
both.
Nice to meet you. So let's dive right in. And can you tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and what your business is all about?
Sure, I can start. I'm Anne, and I currently am in Manila, in the Philippines, and so Mary and I are able to work from two different continents because we have two very different jobs. And I do all of the data and the comping and everything that is kind of computer and research. And then Mary does everything that is like a synchronous task during the workday in the US or talking to any of the title companies or brokers or anything like that is her lane. So we're on opposite ends of the business and opposite ends of the world, and for us, it's perfect.
I
Wow, that is
love that. Yeah, I
amazing.
love that y'all have had the ability to just know exactly what each role is within the business. That's so awesome. How long have you guys been doing land investing?
It's been 4 years now. So Mary had just moved to Colorado, and then she had to give up her business in Wisconsin when she moved. And it was also like a really bad lockdown here in Manila. And so when I stumbled across it and I did some more research, I thought, oh, you know what? This is perfect for the two of us. And we've never done anything in the past before. And so I called her up and she said, yeah, well, what'd you say, Mary?
I said, sure, I'll try it. I
That
didn't
Mary.
have anywhere to go. Like I was kind of lost in the world. Just, moving across the country and then giving up daycare that I did for 10 years and then trying to balance my family and find a new job and navigate a new state. So I was very excited to get started. I was a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I wasn't sure how it would go, but I was definitely willing to give it a try.
So
So I'm
how
so
did
happy I did.
you land into it? Like how did you land into specifically land
From
investing?
all
Did
the
you
real
start,
estate.
yeah. Did you start with homes or was it straight to land?
Well, my husband and I rent out our home since we're not in it for 10 months of the year. And so we kind of started our first baby step into real estate was renting out our personal family home to visiting professors because we're right by the university in Madison. And so that now we've done that for 18 years or something. And then I thought, okay, we should definitely buy another rental property and we need to be doing more real estate. And so I was listening to a lot of real estate podcasts. And then I don't know, I think I actually heard a guest that was on a home real estate podcast that was talking about land. And then I thought, okay, actually, this is going to be way easier because we actually were having some trouble with our tenants, and we had like a roof that was leaking. And so I thought, oh, you know what? Land doesn't have a roof. So that's perfect.
Yes.
And so once you heard the podcast, and did you dive right into it? Did you find a program? What did you, once you decided
We
this
did.
sounds good?
Yeah, we did a land academy. And so we just, I don't know, I think I did it in like 3 days. I just spent a whole weekend just
Wow.
going, like just totally like eating it up. And then once I thought, yeah, I like it, then I said, Mary, do you want to try it? And then she said, yep, let's do it. And so then that's when she started plugging away through the program. And then that's when we were like, yep, okay, this is a fit for us.
And did you decide both, like who was going to do what? How did y'all decide the roles there?
Go ahead, Annie.
Well, believe it or not, even though I'm doing all the talking today, I don't really talk to people. And I don't have a personality really for like being patient and being a good listener. So for me,
Wow.
it's better. And I'm really nerdy in terms of like I'll stay up and read a million things, and I love math, and I like studying, and I'm a really good student. I'm a teacher during the day, so it was clear to me that I could do that side of the business. And the part that I couldn't do ever would be talking to sellers or really anybody on the phone. So
Mundane tasks. Yeah.
And it's
what'd you
so
Well,
say?
funny you're saying
and
that
that's what
because
I'm good at. I actually do like to talk to people, just not on camera. Just kidding.
too. It's awkward for me too. But Anne, I would never guess that you don't like interacting with people because you seem so natural at it. Like I would
Exactly.
never have guessed that you don't like to do it or enjoy doing it.
And you're a teacher.
Yeah, I mean, I like kids, and I like things that move quickly. But for example, if it was a conversation where someone started to talk about like every grandchild and pet, and like, like all of that,
Giving you the life
Yeah,
story.
I'd have to be like doing something else. I can't really listen for a super long time.
Okay, I get it.
we
I
get it.
That's
So, Mary,
understandable.
that's your expertise, listening.
Yes. My expertise is, yeah, listening, and I do enjoy hearing people's stories. I can usually connect with people
Yeah.
really well, even if I don't necessarily agree. I can kind of fake it or, make it funny and silly, or, you know what I mean? Just make them feel special. That's kind of my best quality, I guess. And then also, like, taking care of like the phone calls and stuff. Most days I'm pretty good at it. Calling the county and just kind of like checking my list, I guess, is kind of where that's my strong suit.
And
So
do you
it
take
works
all the
out that
calls?
we're pretty opposite.
Sorry, Mary, I interrupted.
No,
Do you
that's all
take
right.
all the calls
Or
or
do you have a service that you send the callers to?
We had a service. We had Pat Live for a little while, and I accidentally called Pat Live one time. And after speaking with them, I realized we are not doing Pat Live. I'll take the calls because when we were sending a lot of mailers, we might get between, 3 and 20 a month. So I'm like, I can take the calls and I can return the calls. So we kind of got rid of Pat Live. And then, yes, I took the calls and
Did you
kind of
see a
processed them
better
from there.
return on you taking the calls versus Pat Live? Like when you're getting
Yes,
deals?
because I tried to answer the calls like when they came in so that I didn't like miss them. And then the part about Pat Live is it kind of feels salesy to the seller. And so they're like, is this legit? But then when I start asking them, oh, okay, where is it located? Is there access? And actually like can process the information from the get-go, it definitely made it easier to reconnect because sometimes calling people back, then they just don't answer. And
right?
then you kind of
Yeah,
lost
no,
the
Liz and I were doing Pat Live or other services out there, but I feel like just the connection that you have with the seller is so much better when you're answering the phone, and no one can have that for you. Like there
yeah,
is no, you can't
absolutely.
coach anyone to do it the way you're comfortable doing or you like it. So I agree with
Right,
you
and they're just
100%.
being verbatim from the list. They aren't trying to make it. They aren't trying to make a connection. They're just trying to gather information. So I
Yeah.
think making a connection definitely helped.
Right from the
So
get go. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, because trying to call people back is time consuming. Sorry,
Yeah. No, no,
you
no.
know.
You're good. I just have a lot of questions. It's
Yeah, me
exciting. You
too.
guys are
Yeah, no, that's
sisters. We're sisters. We're doing the same thing. I love it. So,
yeah.
have you guys had success? Are you only doing the States, or are you exploring in Manila? Like what does that look like? Is it just solely here in the States that y'all concentrate your business in?
Yeah, actually, it's only in the States, and it's only in Tennessee. So we've
Wow.
really, I think our business has from the beginning has all been about kind of like what we just talked about, that we're only Anne and Mary. So even our marketing materials would say, if you call, you're going to get Mary, and if you email, you're going to get Anne. And we're only in Tennessee. And so I think because we really personalized everything and kept everything like a small niche right from the beginning, that actually has been a natural fit for us, and that's why we've been able to scale and have success, is that we're not really scaling in terms of our market area, and we're definitely not scaling in mail. Actually, we've stopped mailing, but our scale has been just the size of our deals in one tiny little spot, and just kind of digging in and saying, look, this is it, you've got the two of us, and this is our one little neck of the woods.
That's
So I-
awesome. So, how are I heard you say I didn't dismiss what you said that you stayed in one location. So, if you're not sending any more mail, are you how are you growing the
yes,
business?
that
Like, how
was.
are you getting that business?
Well, we were never very big mailers, I would say. From the start, I scrubbed our list way, 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 way down because we didn't really want feedback for properties that we weren't interested in. And because it was Mary answering the phone, I didn't want her to, have to leave hockey practice and go out to the truck too many times.
Yeah.
And so I know that everybody says, like, just, go big and it's all about volume. And I do think that that is true. But because our marketing materials are very personal and it relies on the two of us, we always kept our mail. Like, I think the year that we mailed the most, it was 18,000 in a year.
Mhm.
So that was our biggest year. Are you heading to work? You want your coffee cup?
Sorry,
Okay.
real life.
Have a good. It's real life. It's okay. We
I
had
stole
children
it. I
coming in
stole
from
his coffee.
school. Yeah,
I
it's
stole
okay.
his coffee. There
We
was more
shared
in the
with them.
cup.
Yes.
Yeah, there was more in the cup,
Oh,
and
okay.
I guess he didn't want it back.
Okay. Said you're a little bit more. Your marketing material is more.
I want to get
Oh,
back
go
to
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
question that you don't send as much mail. So what are you doing now to get leads? I'm
I know
interested.
she like put my hand down and everything, so it's
You know
serious.
what? This is the best sister podcast ever. It's just like, no, wait, stop.
Thank you.
I'm not done.
ADD, you should hear our other episodes. It's
Yes.
a hot mess.
We've listened to you guys. You're doing
Oh, that was
great.
funny.
Yeah,
Thank
no, it's
you.
great.
It's the real deal. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll answer the question. So so the first 3 years, I would say we mailed like a turtle pace, right? And also because we were doing bigger deals, we didn't really want to have a lot on the table. And we started doing subdivides with our third project.
Oh,
So
wow.
once we knew that we really liked that, then we only mailed pretty much for that. And we had one VA for like 4 months. He's still great, but we just don't have any work for him. And he would tailor our list even further and look at each property and see, does it fit what we want for a subdivide? So you can see, like, you can just imagine how the list is like becoming, a
Short,
teeny
yeah,
tiny sliver
shrinking.
of
Yeah.
what's left, shrinking. And so that worked for like I would say 3 years. And then this year, or about a year ago, we gave ourselves the like challenge, or set a goal to put ourselves out there a little bit more, because um, we never shared what we did, and we weren't really on any platforms, or if we were reading, but we weren't really commenting or engaging that much with the online community. And so we started to do a bit more of that with Seth's RE Tipster group. Then we started to do that in a school group that we were in. And then I think because we are super true about what we do and so authentic, that just a couple of people kept cropping up and saying, well, I've got a deal for you. Or do you
Oh,
think you want
nice.
to operate this for me? Or will you do this deal for me, but then show me how you do it? So I think it's kind of the similar thing to our marketing, in that it's very small and we don't do a ton, but then just the right people find us. And
Yes.
that, for us, we like it like that.
Yes.
It works
It
for
So
works
you
for
that's how
too.
you.
we, yeah, that's how we've stopped mailing now. I'm not saying that we'll never do it again, because I think we probably will, but the deals now, I'm guessing your next question might be, then what kind of deals are you getting from all
Yes.
this?
Yes.
You read our mind.
Yes, you're on track.
Okay. Okay. Well, when you're a teacher, you just take over any room that you're in,
Yes. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's
It's
okay.
okay.
We'll
We
take
love it.
it. We do. We love it.
That's right. So, like, in our last few deals, we definitely had people that came out to say, I think this is a subdivide. Will you guys review the deal? And then we did, and we said, yes, it is. Congratulations. This is great. And then they would follow up and say, can you fund it? And we'd say, sure. And then they'd say, can you fund it and then operate the whole thing and then teach me what you're doing? Yeah. So that's one of our deals that actually, that one's wrapping up right now.
Good.
And then another way that the deal came to us was a broker that Mary really loves. He's got 5 kids, and he's kind of a farmer and a droner and a good old country boy with like a great great family. And so we've almost done a deal with him a bunch of times, but we've known him now for quite a while. And he had a large property that fell out of contract at the last minute, and the sellers were already counting on that deal. And so he just called and said, hey, you guys, they are ready to roll. This is an on market deal, but it just fell out of contract. If you can close quickly, then it's yours. And so then we just looked, and it fit our criteria. It was great. And his enthusiasm for the deal sold us on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are the
So
sweet
that's
ones.
one.
You don't have to work for them, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
lately,
So
it's been
sweet.
great.
Good.
yeah.
So, have you had did your business slow down? So, me in particular, so we run businesses, but they're separate. We're not one entity. For me
Okay.
personally, I saw this year slow down for me a lot. And listening to podcasts, I wasn't the only one. It was, they say election years just slows everything down. Did you see that as well? Like, has it slowed down for you any? Or because y'all were doing larger deals, y'all weren't doing so many at as many as I guess we normally do.
Yeah. I think we felt it,
Yeah.
and it was hard to put our finger on why, because we had also been a little bit slack. And so last Christmas, I traveled for 3 weeks, and Mary was also like doing a lot of family stuff. So it kind of took us a while to get rolling in 2024. And then we had just kind of been doing the targeted deals that kind of organically formed. So I wouldn't say that we've done a huge scale of deals, but the size of deals that we're doing has made up for it, if
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it
And
makes
then
perfect
once we saw the slowdown, we thought, okay, then this is the time to buy. And so actually, that is what we've been doing. Now we're completely tapped out on our capital. In the last month and a half, we've purchased over $1 million in properties. So
Congratulations.
hopefully that means a really good 2025 for us.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Now it has to, because we don't have any money left. So yeah.
Well,
Problem to have. Yes.
Let us know. We have investors. We have people with
People we can tap
deep
into.
pockets, which you may know
Oh,
if you're in that community,
Yeah.
but let us know. Happy to help.
yeah. It's funny because we do also have an investor that just popped up and said, I'm a stockbroker, but I want to see what you do. Can you um, can you place my money? And so then I said, sure, we can, and it will be, a 10% annual interest, and then I'll
Mhm.
keep in tune with everything happening in the project. And he said, that works for me. And I thought, well, yeah, that works for us too. But sometimes in the land community, the people that are reaching out as investors are saying, oh, we'll take 50%,
Yeah.
or maybe even more. And that does not
Um,
work for us.
well, and you work so
So,
hard for the deals, and that's a big. But I think it works for the people that are
Outside.
desperate, and that really don't have anywhere to go. But I'm with you. I tend to think like that's I don't want to do that. I've worked too hard for this deal to just let it slide for 50%. I'm with you on that.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, we
So let
want
me
to
ask
start
you
looking at banks too. Sorry, I interrupted.
the
We want to start looking at banks, and Mary always says, "It'd be a shame if I just have to fly back to Tennessee again." But I do think she actually needs to spend some time out there and visit some of the smaller banks and credit unions where we are doing deals. Because now I think if we're able to show our equity and our track record and the types of deals that we're doing and the returns and the timelines, I do have a feeling that we would be bankable. So I
for
think,
sure.
yes, we definitely need some investors that have good rates, and we're happy to teach about land, but also I think we need to look into some banks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the small credit unions are good
With interest rates,
with
for sure they
interest
are.
rates. Yeah.
Have you guys done that? Have you gotten financing through a credit union?
Not for land specifically, but we'll get loans or line of credits. For land, it's hard to get to the
Loans, I think, is the way to go, and you build their trust, you return it, and then you grow on that capital, like that you're returning to them, and those that interest rate is really low. So that when I started off like that, doing the loan, like small business loans, and using it for that, paying it back, and then your
But the other
capital just
cost.
keeps growing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
yeah.
So you start building that trust with them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You were gonna
Great.
ask a question.
I was, but
Oh.
I forgot.
What are you guys looking forward to for 2025? I know we're super excited. I think because things have been slow for me, I'm hopeful for 2025. What are you looking forward to in your business?
Well, we're looking forward to selling all these properties.
Yeah, for the business to pick up.
Yeah, that's great. We're just gonna keep, chipping away at those. I think we're excited to also maybe try something new. We're looking at someone came to us with a portfolio deal that each property is actually suited for an entitlement, and that's not something that we've done before. And so, I mean, we've looked at it, but every time we decided either it was too complicated or we just didn't know enough. But because
We
this one is, sorry,
we weren't ready.
that's true. We weren't.
Yeah.
But now I think we are kind of ready because we have more time now because the even though they're the big deals, once everybody is rolling, you're just kind of like waiting for updates and pictures. And before we were running around crazy. I still have my day job, so in the morning I would just like wake up and like review deals, and then at lunchtime, I would do the same, and then I'd work out after school, listen to podcasts, and then come home and then do whatever else Mary told me to do before she wakes up. And now it doesn't feel like that. I think now it feels like I look around and I think like, what am I going to do? Like learn Spanish? Like I got I gotta be busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need to
that's how
keep busy.
because we were processing every lead that came in and going through all the due diligence on sometimes 3 or 4 properties a day, and it was just to find out we didn't want any of them. So this
Right.
is definitely like once they get rolling, it's great. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Anne and Mary, did you ever look into purchasing property outside the United States? Because I know you travel, Anne. Like, is it different over there if you want to invest outside the country? Is it different?
It is, and every country is a little bit different. So this is our 6th year in Manila, and the way that it works in the Philippines is that foreigners can't own land, but they can buy a 99-year lease.
Tell
Does that
me
make
about
sense?
no.
No. Yeah, I'm like 99.
Confused.
Yes. And you're able to do
Yeah,
whatever you want with the lease or no, not really. Like
yeah,
sublease?
it's the same. It's the same as owning the property,
Yeah.
but you can't like then pass it on to heirs and things beyond 99 years. So I think for the Philippines, it's their way of keeping the Philippines.
Yes.
So what that looks like a lot of time for foreigners is if they have a Filipino partner, a husband or a wife, then that's oftentimes how they get around it. Like my buddy runs 6 Airbnbs just right outside of where we live, and he's doing great. But he's able to buy the properties because his wife is Filipino. So
Okay.
that's how it works here. My husband and I are 1 year away from not retiring, but like stopping our day jobs. And so we are starting to look at places that we can retire and buy land. So I have been reading a lot about the different ways that different countries operate. But I think it's probably a good idea to know the country and be there longer before you decide to buy. And I think we would definitely want to stay, a year or two and rent before we knew where we wanted to settle and what are the logistics, what's the bureaucracy involved, how stable is the country? Because that's the other thing about the Philippines is that we have really, really severe weather. We have a volcano that's not too far from us, and it's been kind of doing these plumes, they call them. So there's that, and then we have typhoons. So I think it's just kind of a tumultuous place to buy. And if you were to put a property on the land, you would want to make sure that you could easily replace it. Did we just lose Mary? Oh, there she
No,
is.
there
Hi.
she's back.
She's
She's
back.
back. Yeah. It's tricky, I guess, with different countries, obviously.
But it's
Mar-
interesting that other people from other countries can buy in the US and flip it.
yeah, but think of Mexico. Like I have a dual citizenship, so I could buy, but you can't buy unless you're a citizen. Like you can't. There's
But
so many restrictions.
yeah.
Mary, I have a question for you. In our one of our past podcasts, we discussed the benefits of being female land investment owners over male. Do you guys see an advantage over? the community that you're in, because it's mostly male dominated, right? You don't see a lot of women in this industry. Would you agree with us in that it's favorable for females, or how do you see that?
I mean, I feel like in the communications that I have with the people that call and say that they're interested in selling, usually they're men, and so you can make that connection a little bit
Yeah.
better. I don't know if they're necessarily softer. I mean, sometimes they're like, "Oh, you're just a dumb lady trying to steal my land," but most of them, I feel like, I mean, they are like, or they're crabby about it. I don't know that if that matters if you're a man or woman, but I think I'm able as a woman to connect or empathize and hear their story. So that part of it I do think is beneficial.
Sure.
And just even like the patience maybe thereof. Like we have a buddy that is like, I cannot sit on the phone and listen to their stories. I just get to the point, like, do you want to sell or don't you? So I mean, but that's similar for Anne too. She's like, okay, great. I don't really care about,
Yeah.
your story. Whereas like I feel like most women are like, okay, oh, that's terrible, if somebody's sick. So that part of it I think is beneficial.
Yeah, that's basically our the points that we made, right?
Yes.
When we easier to and, we as women have more words, and we're able to empathize a little better than men can. We feel that way, and I think that that's where we have an advantage over the men, right? Being able to sit on the phone and empathize and
Connect
connect, yeah,
on a
connect with
deeper
the
level.
buyer and the seller. As far as the business itself, what would you say has been the hardest for you in this business?
Hmm.
I think we struggled the most with the the bookkeeping and finding a CPA and the taxes and the entity structure, and we don't want to deal with any of that.
You're
Yes.
speaking my language. You are speaking my language. Yeah. But it's so important, right? To keep
And
afloat and
it's
keep,
so important.
yeah.
And I think we probably had 3 rounds where we thought we hired the right person, and then they just really weren't, or they weren't following through, or they were not really able to explain to us in a way that we understood what we needed to do. And so I think right now that we've arrived with a team that we really like. Mary deals mostly with our bookkeeper, and I know that she feels really comfortable with him and likes him a lot. And then our CPA, I don't think he's super familiar with the land investing group, so that's what took a lot longer for us to kind of help him understand what we do, so that he could help us understand what we were able to take advantage of, or not take advantage of, but like
No, take
opportunities.
advantage of is the correct
Okay.
word.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all legal, but we didn't really know what we were able to claim, or what we should earmark something as. And so I think we've gotten better at that, and we had to play catch up because of the delays and then changing those people. So I think 2024 was really hard for us because we were catching up on 2023. And only now are we able to look ahead, and then hopefully in 2025 make some good or better decisions.
I'm
Right.
so glad y'all found a good team. That I think is the biggest headache, and it is the challenge. At least for me, I felt like I've hit my head on the wall a couple of times with that, and it hurts because you're losing out on money. But as long as we keep tracking along, right, and finding solutions to these frustrations that we have.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then as far we talked about the headaches, what is the you talked about having the time. I hear you have kids, Mary, and that you're out, and I think you said hockey. Was it hockey that your kids are in?
Yes, hockey, volleyball, and no buses for our schools, so pick up and drop off every day.
Love it. We're right there with you. What would you
Yeah.
say is the best part of landing? Like, if we have listeners that come onto the podcast that want to do this, what would be the number one reason you would say this is the right thing to do and try, especially coming from you two that have full-time jobs, day jobs?
Well, I'm only doing land now, which is fantastic because it does allow for me to take my kids to school. One of mine doesn't start until 9 o'clock. So I work for an hour between the first drop off and the second drop off. And then, I'm able to obviously organize my family and then get most of my work done while they're at school. And then in the evening, once they're in bed, there's other tasks that I can do at night. So I personally need and love the flexibility of land and,
Sure.
a little, I don't know, financial support.
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
of
Because quite
course.
honestly, I couldn't really work another job that would allow me to make any money and then also take care of my family. So, and my husband works and drives between 12 and 14 hours a day. So he's not very helpful. Not his fault,
Yes.
but so it's great. I
Good.
love
How
it.
about for you, Anne?
Yeah, I would say the same, that the amount of, or how profitable it is for the amount of time it takes is, it's, to me, it's the most efficient business that I can imagine. I do have a full-time job, so I teach art at an international school. And my girls also are playing sports. We just left the volleyball season and now we're into basketball. One daughter plays tennis, the other daughter plays, and then my husband coaches the boys basketball team. So I'm at sporting events all the time, but kind of like Mary's drop offs, there's lulls in between, but I'm already at school, but I have my classroom. So then my art studio becomes my, weekend land office, and I can go review a few deals or make a call or something in between the games and the tournaments and all the bleacher butt time that I get at school.
Yes.
That's
Good.
what
Absolutely.
I
My
love the
husband makes
most.
fun of me at every hockey game because I have my computer and I'm working because we have to be there an hour early. And I'm like, great, I have an hour's worth of work to do. And so it's
Absolutely.
really great for that.
Yeah.
Flexibility, and you can
Do it.
travel and do it anywhere. Like that
Yes,
flexibility, I feel
exactly.
like you can't get it anywhere else, at least that I
Yes.
that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
So
true.
knowing what you know now, if you were to start over again, when you start, what, in 2020s when you started, Lola was to come out and say hi.
Yes.
Lola? Oh no, the other one. Sorry, my dogs are jumping on top of me. Um, you do different, or how would you set up everything different, knowing what you know now? Any
Uh,
advice for newcomers, new starters?
Figure out your tax stuff, I think.
It
I
sounds
mean,
like you ladies wrote a big check to the IRS. That's how it.
we did. Yes, we did.
it's time consuming and like understanding, making sure that you understand what you're doing so that when you take it to your tax guy, um, they can help you understand as well. So,
Yeah,
Right.
and
but
I
I think
think,
we learned a lot otherwise.
yeah, I mean, I really, I like the way that our journey went because we didn't really compare to anybody else. We just said, well, what do we want to do? And there were all these people on, podcasts and, well, pretty much, and like X and Facebook, and everybody saying, oh, track this KPI, and then you do texting, and then you do cold calling, and then it feels like such a hectic hustle and rat race, and that isn't what we want. And so I think there's always moments that you're like, oh, should we be doing that? And then as soon as we talk to each other, we realize, no, that isn't who we are or what we want. And so I
Oh,
think that for anybody getting started, it's okay to just be true to why you're doing it, and your reason and what you want your life to look like. And then if it feels like a fit, then by all means do it. But I think there's also a lot of people that are probably talking a bigger game than what they're really doing. And so if you
mm,
can just block out the noise and just, stick to
okay.
your heart and your purpose.
I love that. That's beautiful advice. That's the same with us. We also one little county and we stuck with that county, and then we started venturing out, and great for us. But we, like you, decided to put ourselves out there, and now we're doing this and meeting great people like yourself. She's back.
Sorry.
So no, those are beautiful tips that you gave. Thank you. So anything else that you ladies want to add to that we didn't ask, or anything that we could help you ladies with?
Are you guys are you guys starting to you've been mostly Texas until now, right?
I've done Texas and Florida. And I've done
Okay.
Texas and Oklahoma, but yes, the majority of my been in Texas mostly as well. Oh no, that's
Sorry, someone's at the door.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm waiting for mine to pop in. I think she's still
Yeah.
Yeah.
sleeping. So, and if you all are thinking about Tennessee, make sure you reach out because we definitely can talk about, making some referrals for brokers or, things to
Thank
look out
And
you.
for.
vice versa for you as well. If you're thinking of Texas, anything that we can help you with, we're happy to. Or Florida
Yes.
for her because she's done Florida.
I did Tennessee this summer. I mailed them out and I send you one because I had no idea you had a perk there. The perk test is like a soil test.
Yes.
Let me ask you, ladies, whenever you get a seller and you have to do soil testing, do you put it on your agreement if it doesn't perk, or I'll pay for everything, but if it doesn't perk, or you reimburse me, or how does that work for you, ladies, with working and the survey and all that before you purchase a property?
We look at the soil map even before anything, I would say. And now we're familiar with areas that are more troublesome than others. So if we know that a property is going to require a perk, which we typically do, it's not written in, I don't think it's specified in our purchase agreement, but it's part of our due diligence period. And
Mhm.
so then when we open title, then we kind of break down what the contingencies are for our due diligence period for that property. So I
And how
think
long do you give yourself?
For that
it
period.
depends. It
Yeah.
depends because different counties, sometimes it's quick and sometimes it takes a long time to get the person out there. And so we actually just had a large project, and it was really difficult to find a guy that could get out there to do the perk. And so in that case, we were confident enough in the soil that we could move ahead without it because it wasn't a question of whether or not it perked. It was just we wanted to be able to let our buyers know that it had. But if it had been in Rutherford County or Maury or Marshall or some of the counties that we know they've got bedrock or they've got clay or whatever it is, then we would have just said we can't move ahead until we've had the soil maps done. And if it doesn't perk, which we've had as well, then we do eat the cost. We don't put it back on the seller.
And you can now we
We
know, not being CPA experts, but now we know you can tax deduct that as well. So it's okay.
That's
Right.
right. That's a loss.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep, for sure.
That's a loss, but it's a good insurance policy because if the perk costs, $800 or even $2,000, but it saves you from making a bad purchase, then it's still worth it.
And we've
Yes.
learned the hard way that way, or I've learned the hard way
We.
with things like that as well. So no, I agree 100% for sure.
We're happy. We're like soil sisters now. So
So
I don't want to brand ourselves as that, but if you ever have a soil question, we're happy to take a look, you guys.
No,
thank
thank
you.
you
That
so
means a lot.
much.
And like I said, any questions y'all have in Texas that we can help with other than mineral rights, where I'm still learning that part of it, we can help. Or we can find out,
Okay.
try to find out for you guys for sure.
Okay.
That
Absolutely.
sounds
Yeah.
like a deal.
Well, we so appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much. It
ladies.
was such a pleasure to meet you, Mary. Thank you for your time. And we're sorry for the issues at the beginning, but we're so glad that we worked through them.
Yes, thank
Right.
you, ladies.
All right.
And
Thank
hope
Thank
to
you.
see you again too. And if we don't get to talk to you, happy holidays,
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas,
Happy New
and
Year. And yeah, we'll talk soon for sure. We'll keep in touch.
we wish you all the
Very
best
good.
in
Yeah, we'll catch up
2025.
again. That's
Sure.
right. Next time there'll be wine.
Yo, I love that. You're
He wants
speaking
it
my
at night
language.
for her, not us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right. Thank you
Love it.
guys.
Thank you for your knowledge.
All
We
right.
appreciate it. Y'all
Thank
have a
Bye-bye.
you.
great day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.